Hi and welcome everyone to today's tutorial. As you might have already guessed it from the title, today I'm going to explain you how to get your leg behind your head. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. On my channel I already have a video that focuses on exercises and postures to help you getting the flexibility to get your leg behind your head. So if you do not have done the right exercises yet and do not have the flexibility, you might want to check out that video. I also have some yin yoga videos that focus on your hips. So these are going to really help you and set you up to get your leg behind your head. I am not a big fan of saying you have to be able to do this in order to get your leg behind your head. But actually there are quite some postures that show whether you're flexible enough yet to get your leg behind your head safely. Again, in my video that focuses on the preps for leg behind the head postures, you find all of these postures. This is one of them. So you have to be able to stack your legs above each other with your heel above your knee, and that should be relatively comfortable, and there should be no gap between, or hardly any gap between your knee and your heel. Another one is this variation of the pigeon pose, where you're having a 90-degree angle more or less between your upper and your lower leg, and you should also be relatively comfortable in this position. You should be able to lay down and it should be no problem for your knees at all. Also, you may want to be able to push your knee back quite far. So that would be a posture to learn that. You again can find this in my video that prepares for leg behind the head postures. Another posture that indicates whether you're far enough already is getting your foot next to your ear. And when you do this, you should be sitting relatively upright. Yeah, that can be a slight rounding in your back, but you should be able to sit, as I said, relatively upright. So you should not need to do a forward fold to do that. So why am I highlighting that much whether you're ready or not? The thing is that when you start pushing too much to get your leg behind your head, you really can get bad injuries. And I know because I'm talking from my own experience. Luckily I haven't experienced all of this, but for example, you can injure your back in this position, but also your SI joint and of course your knee. But these are just some examples. You might get even some other injuries. So really be careful and make sure you're really ready. And that brings me to the next point, what we should avoid. We should never ever pull on our lower leg, because this will lead to a kind of a twist in our knee, and we do not want to twist our knee. Often that happens when we do not yet get our leg high enough, and then we start pulling on our heel on our lower leg, and that might injure our knee. So never ever do that. This is related to the other thing you do not want to do. You do not want to duck down and get with your head to your leg. No, your leg wants to get to your head. So you do not want to do a forward fold or round your spine, but rather you want to stay sitting upright and bring your leg up. But we will discuss that next. Okay. So one of the most important things is that you really start realizing how to move out of your hip joint. I really like to close my knees or push my lower leg against my upper leg, and then try to localize my hip joint and move out of my hip joint. It's really important that you learn to understand that. The next thing which really helped me is that you want to be able to push your knee back, because you need to get your leg back in order to get it behind your head and behind your shoulder, so to say. So this is, once more, I just remind you of the prep video that I made. So from this angle, I hope you can see that I try to rotate out of my hip joint and then I push my knee back, and by doing this I get my leg behind my head. So I'm not bowing forward, but my leg goes back. And once more from another angle. So when you look at how I get my leg behind my head, I free up my hip joint. I kind of try to get this rotation, and then I also push my knee back, and then I bring my leg behind my head. And then it's a bit hard to show, but you really also want to feel some contraction in your abdominal muscles. This is to protect your spine. So when I bring my leg behind my head, I try to elongate my spine and not kind of fold forward or get into a rounded spine too much. As you can see with me, my spine is a little bit rounded, but I'm not kind of bowing forward in order to get my leg behind my head or to stay in that position. Rather, I really want you to think of, as I said, elongating your spine and rather leaning backwards. Okay, having said all these things of what you shouldn't do and how you should do it, I totally understand that you might still do things that you're not yet ready to, and I think to a certain extent that's just part of the journey. But still be careful that you do not go as far as to injure yourself. So you can try to find out where are your limits, how do certain things feel like, but really always try to be careful and look after your own body. If you have an injury, then you can for sure not do this posture for a long time. So rather be a little bit careful, and maybe you want to learn from my mistakes. So I hope this little tutorial was helpful for you and that it will help you on your journey. If so, then I would appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up. And also do not forget to follow my channel so you do not miss out on any other content that I'm going to provide. And for now, I can only say thank you for watching once more, and servus!